Hello there, and you're all very welcome to the show. What a lovely day today.
Beautiful day, Maura. Have you ever heard of My Canine Companion?
No, but we're going to talk about it
Well,
now.
they provide training to service dogs which help reduce anxiety for children in one particular school in County Kerry. We are joined by teacher Deirdre Prendergast and third-year student Cliona Foley. We have Fifi here as well. Very, very chilled out on the ground. And we have Eddie, even just as chilled on the far side there with Cliona. Deirdre, can you tell us about My Canine Companion? What is it?
So My Canine Companion is a charity organisation that was set up by Cliona O'Rourke and her husband Niall Ruddy in 2011. Cliona was the first person in Europe who was trained to provide instruction, I suppose, to train dogs for children with autism. And Cliona runs a unique programme in that they have what they call a puppy programme, where the puppies are given to families of children with autism when they're about 10, 13 weeks old, and the families then travel to different areas around Ireland where they participate in training once a month with a specific trainer. And the trainer will teach the family to work on different commands with the dog. When the puppy hits about 18 months, it is moved to Cork for 4 months, where it attends what I call a doggy school from Monday to Friday from 9 to 5, where it works with the trainers in Cork. And after that 4 months, the majority of the dogs will qualify and they'll go back to their families. And there is a very good rate of pass, I suppose, for these dogs when they go back into families that they know.
I think the amazing thing, Deirdre, is that, say Fifi here, who's your dog, Fifi's had 10 puppies. 4 of those puppies are now in schools all over, which is fabulous.
Yeah, so she had 10 puppies last May. And we're very privileged that we were able to get 4 of those puppies into schools in around Kerry and 1 in Cork. And they're doing phenomenal work with kids around the country.
Cliona, we're going to chat to you properly in a second, but can I ask you a question? Who's soothing who here now? Because
I don't know.
This dog seems to be benefiting a lot now from hanging out with you.
The dog, we're saying these are working therapy dogs, but to be honest, I think people are saying they're really relaxed.
But you know what? We were all relaxed around the dogs. The dogs came in earlier on as well, so they're having an effect on us as well, Maura.
They certainly are. And we're going to chat a lot more about this in a few seconds. But of course, we have lots coming up on the show today. Paul Flennan is in our kitchen. What are we cooking, Paul?
We're going to cook a very simple and tasty fricassee of pork, parsnip and mushrooms. And I love those dogs. I feel so soothed right now. I could have a little lie down.
Yeah, you just woke poor Fifi up there, so Paul, if you wouldn't mind just keeping it down on that side of the studio, okay? We have a news panel with us today. Henry McKean, we have Conor Pope and Laura Woods. Henry, what caught your attention?
Yeah, lots and lots of stories. We're going to be asking on our social media stories, does the British royal family interest you? And what are you cutting back on with the price rises?
Thanks, Henry. Our competition today, we have £5,000 up for grabs for one of you watching. So to be with a chance, you can enter our competition. And of course, that'll be given away on Monday.
One of you at home will be playing the 50-50 quiz. And as always, we have some fantastic prizes, including the Today Show bundle.
Now, with the catastrophe in Ukraine, of course, we are being played out on our television screens all over. We're going to hear about the human stories. We have 3 women in studio today, a little bit later on, who are going to tell us about their move from Ukraine to here, the journey they went through, and how they're settling in County Cork.
It is all happening between now and 20 to 6.
We're just chatting here to, of course, teacher Deirdre Prendergast and Cliona Foley. We established earlier on that Fifi has produced many puppies who are working in schools with children with autism all over, and of course you're a school in Kenmare as well. But Cliona, let's talk about you. Let's talk about you. Is it third-year student?
Yeah, I'm third year.
Yeah. So just before we came on, you said a couple of years ago that you wouldn't be able to even walk into a shop.
No.
You have autism?
Yeah, I do. I got diagnosed in July 2020 after 14 years. So I always felt I was very different from people the same age. And then I went to school after lockdown and I just couldn't cope. I had to go to the bathroom every single morning and I just cried my eyes out. I hated school. And then I found Fifi, the therapy dog in school, and she literally changed my life in school. She's helped me so much every single day. I'm so happy that she's in my school.
Cliona, is there a connection straight away? Was there a connection straight away between you and Fifi?
Yeah, there was. She meets me every morning and she's always so excited to be in school. And the fact that Fifi's so excited to be in school, it makes it a bit easier for me to be excited to be in school to see her as well.
And is it the calming effect that you get? Does she ground you?
Yeah, definitely. She really calms me down. If I ever go into a classroom that I feel quite nervous in, I will bring Fifi in and she just calms me down straight away.
Cliona, you're in third year.
Yes.
So are you doing exams this year?
Yeah.
So will you be allowed to take Fifi in with you?
I have my own dog, Orna, and she'll be going into the exams with me. So
And that has changed your life, hasn't it?
Yeah,
So, Orna, you
she has.
recently only got Orna. How long do you have her?
about 2 months, I think, or less.
It's quite amazing the way, Deirdre, isn't it, the way that a dog can change a child's life.
Yeah, like we have seen such benefits of having the dogs in school. I suppose my first memory of us when we have another service dog as well, Bosco, and he came to school and we had a little.
We have photos. Do we have photos? And who's this guy actually?
This is Zazu. That's actually one of Fifi's puppies. She's beautiful. They'll be a year in May. But I suppose the way they work is this little boy came in crying. He'd been crying all night and his parents dropped him into school and he was still crying. And he came into the sensory room when he went in with Bosco, and within 10 minutes of being on the beanbag with the dog, he was asleep. Now, we were all nearly crying, the SNEs and myself were all nearly crying at the time, because we were saying if this child had been awake crying all night and the dog was able to put him to sleep after 10 minutes, it was just amazing the way they work. They help students in ways that you couldn't tell. We use them for motivational breaks. You know, if you do one more sum, you can take the dog for a movement break. I suppose Fifi as well, she works with the TYs. They take her up to the community hospital where they visit the patients in the community hospital in Kinmare. They also take Fifi up to the primary school where they're working with transitions with kids with autism coming down to the secondary school next year. So she goes up twice a week, she meets the kids, and over the next few weeks, those kids from the primary school will be coming back to our school just with Fifi. And when they move in September, they know Fifi, so they'll have something familiar in their surrounding areas that they're after coming into.
How many Fifis have we in Ireland?
There's about 10 at the moment
10.
belonging to my Canine companion out in the schools, yeah. So
That's not a lot, really, is it? Like when you take the whole country into consideration.
No, and I suppose it's probably a new initiative. It started in about 2017. I suppose I have a young boy who has autism, and I was on my Canine Companions waiting list to get a dog, and both myself and my husband work. So when we got the dog, we were kind of saying we got the call to say we were getting a dog, and we couldn't actually, I suppose, leave the dog at home all day. So I spoke with Niall and Cliona to see what we could come up with, and we discussed kind of a school programme. I went back to my principal, Mr. Dermot Ely from Public School in Brishkena in Kinmare, where I ran the idea by him to see what would he think of bringing a therapy dog to school. And he absolutely loved the idea. He said it was just one of the most amazing things. He said raising awareness for autism, and it was going to be brilliant for the school. So once we got the go-ahead from the principal, I went around to the assemblies and I spoke to the kids in the assembly, and I went around to all the years and I had a speech ready to tell them that there was a dog coming from my Canine companion, and if the dog was in jacket, like Fifi is, the dog is not supposed to be touched because it's working. But if you ever meet the dog without its jacket on, feel free to pet and rub the dog as you wish. So I left one of the 6th year assemblies anyway, and one of the boys came up to me and he said, "Miss, are you telling me you're bringing like a 13-week-old puppy to the school?" And I was like, "Yes, that's what I'm doing, yeah." "And you expect me to walk past this puppy and not rub it?" And I was like, "Yes, exactly. That's what I need you to do, or he won't be here for very long." So, like, we have about 500 kids in the school, and they are absolutely amazing. You know, they know when the dogs are working, they know when they can pet the dogs.
The dogs turn into kind of mascots, do they?
They are like, they're school mascots. They go everywhere. Like, there'll be kids going for wellbeing walks in classes, so the dogs will go for a wellbeing walk. You could meet somebody in the corridor and they'll go, "Did anybody see a dog? We need a dog over here." So somebody goes running to find one of the dogs. So I suppose we're lucky in that we have 2 dogs that have been in and out of the school on a daily basis.
I think, though, that you don't have to be on the spectrum to get the benefit of having a dog like Fifi in school. I mean, all kids are anxious, let's be honest, especially kids when they start school. And I'm sure all children benefit from these dogs.
Yeah, it isn't actually all kids on the spectrum that benefit. They're used throughout the school. So we have one dog with the guidance counsellor in the school, and she will tell you that what it takes her 20 minutes to get out of a child, it takes the dog about 5 minutes. They can tell you a story in 5 minutes when there's a dog sitting in the room with you, whereas you're trying to get them to talk to you when I suppose, and they won't talk to you, but when they see you with a dog, I think they see you more as a person and they'll just fill you in. I suppose recently there was a little girl that came into me as well and she was upset over something and Fifi went straight over to her and started licking her. And I said, are you okay? And she was like, I'm all right. And I said, you know, I don't know if Fifi thinks you're okay because she's over there giving you a kiss. And the little girl just started crying. You know, she was just very emotional about what was after happening. But she was able to talk to me about the situation once Fifi had calmed her. And she just sat there and she rubbed Fifi and she chatted to me about it.
Cliona, do you feel that your dog, now that you have your own therapy dog at home, and Fifi, that they help you through your schoolwork and all that as well? We talk about grounding, but how is it helping you through the curriculum?
They just help me in every way you can possibly imagine. Like, I find it very hard to concentrate on my schoolwork, so sometimes what I do is Orna will come over to me and she just lies down, and I find that the way that she lies down, it helps me to concentrate.
Okay.
And that if I get a certain amount of my homework done, I can go outside and play with Orna as a break, and then I can go back and finish the rest of my homework.
What about at night? Where does she fit into your life, like during the day, just in your home space as well?
She sleeps in my room. She has her own bed in my room, so she sleeps there. And then in the morning, I don't know how it started, but she knows what time my alarm goes off at, so she's already up
body
before
clock.
me.
Yeah.
And then she's always so excited in the morning. She's just jumping up and down. She cannot wait to start the day. And when she's happy, it makes me happy as well.
Oh, that's
There's a
fantastic.
synergy. There's an absolute synergy.
It's a
She's in
two-way
tune.
street. Deirdre, what about people who would like to have one of these dogs in their own school?
Yes.
How would they go about it?
So at the moment, there's, I suppose, on my Canine Companions webpage, there would be a form that you can fill out. It's an expression of interest. So I know that we have days planned now coming up in the future that hopefully we'll get to meet people that are interested in actually getting more dogs into the schools. And I suppose one of the main issues with getting dogs into the school is the funding, the lack of funding for, I suppose, raising a dog and getting the dogs and producing the dogs. So to raise a dog for a child with autism and for the organisation is about €10,000.
Oh, goodness, yeah.
So that's for one dog. So obviously the costs are very expensive. So, you know, I suppose when she had her puppies and they were able to go out to school, we were absolutely thrilled that we were able to help that many schools.
Brilliant.
How proud are you of Cliona then?
I am so proud of Cliona. I said to her there a few minutes ago, I said, I don't think Cliona would have done this a year ago for us. And when I rang her up to see would she come on here today with me, she said yes straight away. And I mean, the amount, I suppose, that the dogs have helped her and have encouraged her and given her the confidence to do something like this, it's just amazing.
That's
so
great.
well proud.
Thanks so much,
We're all
Deirdre.
proud
And
of you.
thank you so much, Cliona, as well, for coming in and telling us about your life as well and how it has changed. It is an absolutely brilliant project. We will actually put all the information on our Facebook page if you're interested, if you can help out, because they're very expensive to train. So thanks, guys.